Hey everybody, Slayer Holfin here, back for a EGL Week 2 battle analysis slash team recap. So I just finished playing Proph and I decided I might as well record now while the iron's hot. So Proph, I mentioned last week, I believe, very briefly, that we played several times. I think we played 5 times over the years. Let's see, we played twice in PBL Season 1, once in Season 2, and 2 times in Season 3. So yeah, 5 times. We are 3-2 against him, but they've always been really lopsided battles. I think the closest battle we've had was a 4-0 Season 1, the first time we ever played. Actually, the first match I ever had in League format, and he basically should have 6-0'd me, but then his Cresselia got parried as my Mega Scizor, his Cresselia, which is at like +4, +4, +6, +6, or something ridiculous like that. I got parried as my Mega Scizor SD'd up, Mega Pinsir SD'd up, and then just swept his team, so it was a 4-0 victory in my favor. So a 4-0 is the closest victory, or closest game we've ever had against Proph. So hopefully we can get a closer game this time. So just going to go over his team really quickly. Uh, let's see, Mega Gallade, Blacephalon, Glyphscore, Ferrothorn, Vaporeon, Slurpuff, Tornadus T, Ambipom, Vikavolt, Turtonator, and Drapion. So pretty threatening team. Mega Glade outspeeds a lot of my team and is just very threatening. And the wall core of Gliscor, Ferrothorn, and Vaporeon is pretty tough to face. So, and then I don't know, Blacephalon, Ambipom is really fast. Outspeeds a lot of my threats and just can click buttons. Yeah, he's got Drapion to trap my Latios or potentially my Mesprit. So definitely a solid team. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Don't want to spend too much time on this when we get to the game. We have to play Proph again later in the season because he is in our division. Maybe we'll even have to play him in playoffs. So I definitely prepped for this match and put some time into it. But I'm not sure these are like the best sets I could bring. Some of them I thought would just be more fun sets, like the Deancey set. So we got a weakness policy, Rock Polish, Moonblast, Diamond Storm, HP Fire Deancey here. Modest, speed lets me outspeed everything on his team, barring a Scarfer, and then the rest in just HP. So potentially could set up on like Vaporeon here with weakness policy, or even a Ferrothorn depending on what the set is. Moonblast is pretty good against a lot of his team. His resists are Blacephalon and Ferrothorn, so we got the Diamond Storm and HP Fire for those. So yeah, anyway, next up we got Greninja. Outspeeds his entire team, barring Scarfers. And then just a little bit in Spidef. I think I liked my HP where it's at, so Spidef I thought if I need to take a hit from Vaporeon. Toxic Taunt for Vaporeon. U-Turn, and then Dark Pulse, and then Darkinian Z. It doesn't have the greatest Dark answers on his team, Drapion and Slurpuff, and those are both like lower tier mons, so I didn't think they would be coming, and even if they did, they're not super bulky. They're not super bulky anyhow, so I guess like Slurpuff could be bulkier with like a Calm Mindset, but I can deal with that. Maybe? I don't know, I got a Scizor. Seems like I should maybe be able to deal with it. Anyway, next up, Latios, Life Orb, Draco Meteor, Psychic, Defog, Roost. Roost just gives me longevity, Defog to help keep hazards out of the way, because Proph loves his hazards, and he's got a Ferrothorn. And he's got a Slurpuff, so if he does bring Reds, then those would be annoying, so I'd want to get rid of them. This lets us speed tie with Mega Gallade. I'm not sure if he'll be running speed to speed tie with Latios or not, but I'll risk that tie potentially in the match, depending on where it is. Draco just hits really hard. Psychic is pretty good coverage for stuff that Draco doesn't hit. I think his Dragon switch-ins are Slurpuff and Ferrothorn, and so Ferrothorn definitely walls this pretty well, but I got some answers to Ferrothorn on the team. You know, Ferrothorn kind of stops a lot of the Pokemon on my team, or probably like more the first 3, but they all have coverage on it, and the last 3 have stuff they want to do with Ferrothorn, so that's what that is. Outspeeds Blacephalon too, obviously. yeah, Thunderous, Assault Vest just for a little bit of bulk, Volt Switch, T-Bolt, HP Ice, Incinerate. Volt Switch just lets me get priority, or not priority, momentum, switch around on his team. T-Bolt is obviously a really good stab. I can bring this thing in onto the Vaporeon um, and just kind of get initiative or get a huge hit off on Vaporeon. And then his only electric resistances are Ferrothorn and Gliscor, and we have times 4 coverage for both of those, so good for us. Arcanine, Morning Song Toxic, Extreme Speed, Flare Blitz, Flash Fire. This is kind of like my Blacephalon check, I guess. Spit F, all the way through the roof. HP is pretty high. Attack, that attack was for something. I think it's for an E-speed kill on something. Toxic, so I can click it on the Vaporeon switching in potentially, because that's a pretty safe switch in for him. E-speed is just nice with priority. Flare Blitz is decent stab. Warning Sun for some recovery. And then we got Scizor, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, Superpower Sub. So this is the setup on Ferrothorn or Vaporeon with the spread we can that is called from Vaporeon. Its other coverage move would likely be Ice Beam for Thunderous and Latios. So just enough bulk to take those hits from Vaporeon and then a little bit of attack for what we have left over. So that's the squad. And now I'm going to switch to match. Yes, I will switch to the match. And I will switch sides. So I lead off with Thunderous Therian, just my best lead, I think. What is going on here? Okay, best lead. Basically can Volt Switch out on a lot. Has coverage for the things that resist it. It leads Ambipom. I don't really want to let Thunderous Therian get weakened, because if he doesn't have coverage for it on Gallade, basically Thunderous Therian can just like take one hit from a lot of his more threatening mons, and so I want to keep it healthy if I can, and Fake Out's going to be doing a ton, so I go into DNC. Basically my two resists are DNC and Scizor. Scizor I want to be able to set up later, and it's also more likely that he'll be carrying Fire Punch coverage for Scizor rather than Iron Tail for DNC. But I'm going to double into the Arcanine here. This basically covers the Steel coverage, it covers the Fire coverage for Scizor, and it covers U-turn. I mean, he gets momentum, but I don't take very much. So I thought that was a pretty good mid-ground play. He goes with Vaporeon, which is pretty easy, pretty understandable. I'm just going to fire off a Toxic here. If Vaporeon's weakened, it makes the rest of my team's job really easy. And I also thought that there might be a chance to catch Ferrothorn on the switch. I didn't think he's definitely going Flareon, but I took between 40 and 50 from a Scald there, and it seems like a pretty obvious switch for me into I don't know, something that's not Arcanine, I guess, which gives him his ability to get up his rocks. So he goes Ferrothorn. I'm just gonna fire off. Oh, I'm gonna go into Thunderous because I figured that he's got to switch out here. That's not a matchup he wants to win. Expect them to go Vaporeon, but worst he did is, I don't know, Leech Seed, I guess. So works out for us. I'm just going to Volt Switch. We pop the Wakanberry. I kind of expected him. I thought there's a pretty good chance he'd be running Ice Beam on this thing to try to catch me by surprise. So especially after I saw that Wakanberry, I'm like, yeah, he definitely has Ice Beam. He's going to try to take me out here. So go out to Greninja, take that. I'm going to taunt this thing, prevent it from getting a Wish off. I actually kind of thought Ferrothorn was going to come in there, and preventing hazards would be good. So now I'm going to double, back out into Thunderous as he goes into Ferrothorn. I'm just going to click Incinerate here, try to break down his Wall Core. Pops an Akabera, that's fine with me. That'll be, I know, it's burned for later. It's nice chip, so just going to fire off another Incinerate. And then we're going to click HP Ice here. I'm fine just clicking buttons. I'm still at 100%. I can do massive damage to a lot of his Wall Core. Like his Wall Core, now that the berries popped, I think Ferrothorn is a roll. Gliscor, I should Oko unless he is all Spadef, but we know he isn't, and we know he's not Yachi Berry because he activated the Toxic Orb, so I can actually pretty much just destroy his Wall Core with Thunderous Therian at this point. So brings in Vaporeon. It actually looks like it could be a roll if he's really Spadef, which it looks like he is from the way he took the Volt Switch through the Wakanberry last time. So I'm just going to Volt on out of here as he protects. That's fine. I'm just going to Volt Switch. as we actually did a ton of damage, don't quite pick up the KO. I'm going to go into Latios, figuring that he'll probably wish here. As I'm going to go for the defog, silly me, forget that protects through defog too, and now he's actually in range, so I'm just going to go for a Draco, kill this thing, and that's nice. That's the Vaporeon out of the way. That's his Wish Pass. So I revealed the Life Orb, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. As he's going to bring in Gallade. I doubt that he's faster than me. I think that he's probably, okay, like I said during the team builder, like he can speed tie with me at best. I want these hazards out of the way. And yeah, I want these hazards out of the way basically for Arcanine, for Thundurus, Therian, stuff like that. So he actually goes for the sub. We go for the defog and get that out of the way. I'm actually going to go for a Psychic. I don't want this thing behind a sub as I switch. So he goes for Sword Stance. Now I'm going to go out to Arcanine. Extreme Speed looks like it's a roll to break his sub if he goes for that. Otherwise, I can just kind of lower the damage on him. He reveals Ice Punch, so that's good information to know for my Thundurus. Later in the game, as we're going to go for the Extreme Speed and get some nice damage off. Now I'm going to fire off a Dark Pulse here, and the Ferrothorn comes in, and a Z Dark Pulse is a roll. It's like 40 to 48, so it's definitely in his, if he's max SpDef, which that calc it looks like he definitely can be. So I'm actually going to taunt here, expecting him to want to get his rocks up, and he's Heat Bomb, so good play. That really hurts me. Greninja is the only thing that outsped his entire team, so now this is going to be a lot tougher for me to win. So I go into Scizor and I SD. I look at the calc. I know I can leave a Heat Wave from this thing. He goes for a Heat Wave, and I think that's, unless he's like, actually maybe if he is Expert Belt, I couldn't live it, but if he's not Expert Belt, then that's a roll, and he got the like, or it's not a roll, but he got absolute high roll there, get me 3%, but I get huge damage off. Go Bullet Punch. I'm not sure why I didn't go Scizor there, or Ferrothorn there. I think that was pretty free for him. But I'm going to save Scizor because Bullet Punch actually looks really good against a lot of his team. It's nice for Mega Gallade and for this Ambipom. As here, I'm going to go into Diancie. I'm suspecting from like how he U-turned turn 1 that he doesn't have coverage for me, so I'm going to Rock Polish up. This brings in Gliscor. Now, I don't knock out Gliscor with a Moonblast, and Diancie's still nice because Ambipom, look at Ambipom and look at my team. Like, I do not like facing Ambipom now, so I don't really want to let one of my 2 normal resists go. Fake Out, because like Scizor's so low, Fake Out just kills it, so Diancie's the only thing that doesn't like, I don't know, the only thing that kind of deals with Ambipom, so I'm just going to go hard Latios here, expecting the Earthquake. Earthquake is definitely his best play, I think. I'm already set up, he can't really afford to screw around with me. So, and I just get to go for a Draco, and I go for the Draco, and Ferrothorn comes in. I had clicked Draco, and I was like, wait a minute, how much does Draco do to Ferrothorn again? And as I like went to look at the calc, it switched, so I'm like, oh darn. But anyway, Ferrothorn comes in, you go for the Psychic, that wasn't a roll of any kind. The Draco is potentially a roll. As he goes for Iron Head, I'm just going to roost up. I haven't revealed it yet. As he goes Rocks, that's a pretty good play. We're at a little bit higher health now, so I'm going to just get a Defog off, keep the field clear of hazards, keep Thundurus Therian healthy, and I'm just going to go Diancie. He goes for Fake Out, and I can fire off a Moonblast here. Take out the Ferrothorn, that's nice, no hazards, hazards are gone. Potential Iron Barbs are gone for Scizor. So he goes into Gliscor, as I'm now going to go out into Thundurus Therian, as he misses a Toxic, which ends up being pretty unfortunate for him. Go for the HP Ice, he gets his Toxic off now. I think that, I'll have to check with him on what his sets are, but I think that HP Ice is maybe a roll, unless he invested specifically for it to not be a roll. In that case, if it was a roll, then maybe, well, I know, doesn't matter. But yeah, so potential roll there. I'll have to check with him what his sets were. But yeah, the Toxic miss sucks. I'd feel a little bit better if that was a roll to knock him out. Maybe it negates it a little bit, but actually thinking about it, Proph probably made sure that wasn't a roll. So he Toxics me, as I'm going to Incinerate. Incinerate I haven't seen an item on Ambipom, and it looks like it's just it looks like it's Silk Scarf from what the damage has been doing, but it's possible he could be adamant and like pack some berry in a weird set. And since both moves were taking him out right there, I decided Incinerate was actually the better play, just in case something weird like that happened. As now at 82, I can actually, it's a roll for me to live as Silk Scarf, which I do believe he is, boosted return. So I want to save this thing, go out to Diancie, as he goes for Fake Out, and I'm just going to fire off a Moonblast here in case he wants to switch for whatever reason. Actually, no, I think I Rock Polished there. Yeah, I Rock Polished there. So I go out to Thunderous, and I'm going to Volt Switch because I don't want to take... So if I T-Bolted there, and he goes Mega Glade, then I take Toxic damage, and it becomes a roll much more in his favor to take me out with a return. So I'm going to Volt Switch so I don't take any extra Toxic damage. Go out to Mega Scizor, Bullet Punch here, take out the Mega Glade. Now he can Fake Out, so I don't want to choke this game away. It's going to be a roll as it is, but I'm just going to sack Latios right here. Goes for Fake Out. If he is adamant, then maybe I could take him out, but he's not, of course. He has speed for my entire team, bar Greninja. So now we go out to Thunderous. I click Thunderbolt, and we live on just a sliver. So Thunderbolt, we actually get the para, which doesn't end up mattering because he doesn't have Quick Attack for... I'm not sure if he actually gets Quick Attack. Someone said, did you have Quick Attack? I don't know if Ambipom gets it, but we take him out with Bullet Punch. So we get the win, 1-0, really close match, really good match. Obviously, that Toxic damage, that Toxic that he missed early in the game was really big, right? Because we lived on 2% with Thunderous Therian, so that Toxic definitely came back to... That Toxic mix definitely came back to kind of bite him, so that's unfortunate. But I'll talk to Proph. I'm not sure if you want to share his sets with me since we play again, but maybe if it was a roll with the HP Ice, then that was a little bit more... like I wouldn't feel as bad, but that's unfortunate, definitely, that he missed that Toxic, because I think it did end up costing him the game. But anyway, we get the win, very close, go 2-0, and that's a great way to start, obviously. So I'll be back again next week against another division. I think I got another division rival next week. I've been kind of busy. I haven't been really on top of it as much. I got in-laws in town, so I've been kind of not focused on Pokemon a ton. I was focused when I was building this team, but then haven't had a chance to play until now. I want to make sure I know who my opponent is. I think it might be... It might be Ben. I think it might be Ben. Okay, well, my computer's being really slow, so... Oh, gonna come on? But anyway, good game to Proph. Sorry about the Toxic miss, but I guess either way, even if it had played out differently, then I think he would have won 1-0. So either way, glad it was finally a close match between us. Finally have a good one. Okay, yeah, we do play Ben next week. I think that he was saying that he had wished he hadn't gone Mega Glade with the Ambipom, and I think that, let's see, she hadn't gone Mega Glade there at the end, and I think that if I had Volt switched, I think it might have been, I don't know, I'll think about it. I'm not sure if it would have changed it or not, but yeah, I've just been like, I don't know, blah, 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 for a few minutes now since I stopped recording. So we do pick up a win, go 2-0. We'll be facing Ben next week. Glad to have a good start in the EGL, and good game to Proph. Sorry about the Toxic miss. He definitely deserved to win that one. But we'll take the hacks when we can get it. So see you next week. Bye.